Can I say I love the Nightmare movies? I love them. I'm a child of horror. I grew up with my room having cable TV. When my parents were just like, oh, night, time to go. Psh, turn on the cable, watch whatever. They rarely came in. It was freaking awesome. And as I grew up, I became a bit of a movie nerd. A cinema snob. Not to be confused with this guy. The Nightmare movies hold a close spot in my heart, though, I will say. And I have different feelings about each of them. Back a few years ago, I got to see them all again, all in one sitting. So I decided to do that again. And I watched them all. Every time I was thinking, oh boy, I want to see this thing, and I want to see that, and I don't want to see that character, blah, 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 blah. So today, we're going to separate them. The positives from the negatives of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Part 1. Now, you really can't say anything bad about Part 1. I mean, it is what it is. It's the original. It went there. It made us fear our dreams. Frankly, to me, this one, it gets a pass. You can't really say too much. Part 2 holds a sort of sentimental spot for me. I remember a long time ago when Fox 11 and Channel 5 KTLA would play the most random movies on TV, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 was one of them. It was the first one I really saw. I didn't know what the hell I was watching. In Part 2, Freddy possesses the body of Jesse, who lives in Nancy's old house, the lead from the first movie. So when Jesse falls asleep, Freddy possesses his body and he kills through Jesse. And because of the love Jesse's girlfriend Lisa has for him, that's how they kill Freddy. With the power of love. That's the power of love. Now, the positives. This movie tries to be its own. It's not just a movie about a killer killing teens for the sake of killing teens. You know, the haunting is a good touch, and it's sort of personal to the character of Jesse. It's not just a child killer coming back from the dead to try and return to the land of the living. The acting, for the most part, is pretty strong, I feel. So is the plot. You know, it really gets sort of a check for me. Most of the characters I find to be very original and creative. The gore in this movie is minimal but fucked up. Again, a personal touch on the lead of Jesse, I feel. It's bloody, it's disgusting, but there isn't that much of it. But less is more, as we all know. This guy, Grady. Tell me he isn't just the remake wannabe of Rick from the first one. It didn't need to be there. I mean, why not just make another, somebody else, make something different? The gay overtone in this movie is through the roof. I mean, I get that it's the 80s and, kind of the thing of the 80s was being a transgender or intergender or whatever, but really this is too much. We got the gym coach who's gay and into S&M. The sweaty teen in tighty whities with a bulge. Look at that, you see wiener practically. And I think it's funny that Springwood, this small town, happens to have a downtown area that has a gay bar. Oh yeah, and this scene.
Jesus Christ!
Aren't you a little too close, Jesse?
Hey,
button up your shirt.
Something is trying to get inside my body.
Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting for you in the cabana. And you want to sleep with me.
While I like this movie and it tries to be its own movie and not just a sequel, a little of the horror and gore doesn't make sense. What's with this big rat? Lisa gets bit by Freddy and all of a sudden there's ants all over it. I don't get it. What the fuck? And what is up with these dogs with monster baby faces? The actor playing Jesse. He's so feminine. Listen to him scream. He's a total girl. I did say that the acting in this movie was pretty strong. Really, Jesse and Grady are the two things I could do without. Okay, part 3. Freddy goes after the last of the Elm Street children, who all live in a mental institution. All the kids suffer from a different kind of sleep disorder, which is why they're all there. Nancy and her father return. Nancy is some kind of dream therapist. We also get a creepy nun who roams the institution, but knows about Freddy and tells us about his mother, who was a young nun who worked at the institution, but was locked in by accident and over the weekend was raped hundreds of times by hundreds of psychopaths. She also tells us in order to kill Freddy, his earthly remains must be laid to rest, consecrated on holy ground. I like the backstory in this. It's really elegant. Most backstories tend to kind of change how you view the character. You know, a lot of that stuff doesn't usually work, but this one does. It, really kind of helps him out. The gore. This was the first movie where Freddy's killings were more than just stabbings. He really gets creative. Big Worm Freddy, TV Freddy, it's frickin' awesome. The death of Freddy, burying and consecrating his body, was creative, and since Freddy is a monster, I kind of think it works that you have to go towards the way of God in order to kill a monster. Cons. Bringing back Nancy and her father. It was pointless. It was just some sort of hook. And really, why bring them back just to kill them? I hate that. They survived, they get the pass, come on. No explanation as to why Freddy's back. He's just there. Why? To me, Freddy is an evil spirit who is always in hell and is always looking for a way to kill again in the real world. So there has to be some kind of link to bring him back. A connection. Part 4. Freddy comes back again to kill the last 3 remaining teens from Part 3. But Kirsten brings her friend Alice into her dream, and because Alice is so fond of daydreaming, Freddy uses her to kill Alice's friends. Every time Alice sleeps, Freddy can kill someone she knows. So it's up to Alice to figure out how to kill Freddy. Again.
You shouldn't have buried me.
The look and the light in this movie is really picturesque. This is the first time we actually see Freddy. He's not just in the shadows. They use good colors of red and green in this movie, and I like it. The killings in this movie are pretty funny and scary. I like it. Turning someone into a cockroach just to kill them. Sucking face with a nerd.
Wanna suck face?
No.
Nice. Bringing back Kirsten, Joey, and Kincaid. I don't know why, but when the death of Kincaid happens, it really pulls me in, and his death to me is really sad. So it really brings up the drama for me. Negative. Bringing back Kirsten, Joey, and Kincaid. I know, I just said that I liked it, but at the same time I hate it. Killing them brought out the drama. But what's the point of bringing people back just so they could die? They're the ones that got away. Let them live. Pisses me off. How the hell did Freddy come back? I don't get it. A dog pisses on his grave in the dream world and he's back? If you're gonna bring him back, at least have some kind of hook. Connection. In part 2, Freddy possessed a boy's body. Here? What the fuck? The brother's backstory. I like this actor, and he does come off as funny, but to me, I think that this guy is a martial arts karate fighter. No. Or that he's so deep into it that he teaches himself and trains himself and has the discipline to do it, and is so deep into it that he'll bow to his bandana that has the Japanese symbol on it. Ugh.
Various ways.
Hello, baby.
Alice's reaction to her brother's death. After Alice's brother died, she freaks out for a moment, but then she acts like nothing happened. I mean, she daydreams to, work it out, and she looms around a bit. And I get that this is a horror movie, well, this is just a movie, and we have no time for that, but it's not even the last death in the movie. I mean, why not make it more? I mean, that would make it so much more personal, I figured. Freddy's death, I don't get it. There's these very small hints in a children's nursery rhyme, which we've never fucking heard, that evil must see itself and it shall die. What's the point? It's never really touched upon in the movie. We see something about Dream Master on the overhead, and we do hear the children talking about it, but why does evil need to see itself? I think it knows that it's evil.